welcome back to the Southern Snack, where life is too short to be serious. All right, so, first thing I want to throw out is a huge thank you to all of my subscribers that reached out last week. I wouldn't say things are a lot better, but I'm starting to see things a little bit differently. And, we had some things go on over the weekend. So we got to move forward and just grind out on myself. And I'll briefly address that after the review, of course. We're not going to jump into that just yet. So if you'll hit that subscribe button, if you haven't subscribed already, what are you doing? And like and comment on this video, I would appreciate it. This is going to be fun. Because that cowboy cookie, that's got me saying yeehaw, right? Right, folks? So, it's going to be interesting. It's got coconut, chocolate chips, and almonds in an oatmeal base. I've never heard of a cowboy cookie in my life, but they brought back Oreo, which is a fan favorite. We'll see if they bring back Oreo birthday cake here soon. I assume probably in March. And then raspberry donuts, a new donut. It looks like a kind of a donut flavored base with raspberry puree, and then you've got the powdered sugar donuts on top. So very interesting. Don't know if I love it, but we got to give everything a try these days, right? I know my hat's crooked. Last time my hat was crooked, and you can see how deformed it is. I don't know what happened, but we're trying to get it back into shape, just like I'm trying to get into shape in a lot of ways. Anyways, so where are we starting? Of course, we're going to start with cowboy cookie, and this looks very chocolatey, very melty, very crumbly too. Very, very, very crumbly. So we're going to break into it, and we're going to review it, right? Give it a nice little review. Again, it's chocolate chips, almonds, and coconut in an oatmeal base. So interesting, right? That coconut really sticks out, and then the oat and the almond come together really well. I'm so shocked by this. I thought it was going to be decent. I really like this a lot. You know what I didn't think about? It's kind of like you take oatmeal and you mix it with almond joy, and it works. Like, that is really good. Like, I love that. And I was not expecting that. Guys, I'm harsh on cookies, and a lot of people are not going to give this a 10. I'll be for real with you. But the flavor here, the oat, the almond crunch, the coconut, and the chocolate, it just comes together so well. They did that right. I didn't even know that cookie was coming. And man, when I looked it up, I was like, that's got some promise. But man, that was good. I ain't had a Crumbl cookie have me saying like something like that in a while. Like, PB&J, I love PB&J. It's always awesome. But wow. Okay, so raspberry donut. This one's interesting. The powdered donut on it and the raspberry puree. I'm gonna break into this one. Give it a try. Kind of want to taste it. It's difficult trying to pick it up. Kind of want to taste it, without the raspberry, which we have an opportunity to do. I'm gonna go from the back end and then go forward from it. It's kind of like a cakey base. A little cakey, not bad. But we're here for the raspberry puree and the powdered sugar donut on top. So we're going to go ahead and bite into that. Wow, that is actually very reminiscent of eating a raspberry donut. The puree is fresh. You've got that fresh, sweet, fruity tartness to it. And the base is nice. It's buttery. It's kind of cakey. It's quite good. Trying to kind of unpack that of where I would put it. It might not be the best raspberry cookie I've had. I've enjoyed, you know, the butter cake a little bit more. And I've enjoyed some of these others like the raspberry cheesecake. But that is very solid. And the way it all comes together with the powdered sugar, the buttery base, and then the raspberry puree, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5. I think it really works well. So we're going to go on to Oreo. I love this one. I usually give it like an 8, 7.5 or 8 is usually appropriate for it. The base is delicious. And what I've really missed over all this time is the chocolate cookies and cream. I just love how simple it is. But it's that base with white chocolate chips. And it might have a little bit of white chocolate drizzle on it. But I love it so much. And when you add cream cheese, that's pretty daggone good. But I just think the white chips go a little harder, to say the least. So they have this one a bit too often. I wish they would do more variants with the Oreo base. But they tend to lean heavily on this one specifically, which is fine. But it is what it is, right? It's good. It's very good. It's like eating an Oreo with cream cheese on it. And it's very reminiscent of what you would, you know, get in a standard Oreo. You got creaminess, and you got this rich cocoa cookie. But there really are better variations of it. And this time I'm feeling like more of a 7.5 today. It's solid. It's delicious. But it's simple. Like we've had pumpkin cheesecake. I just like the white chips better because that better reflects the flavor of an Oreo. Birthday Oreo. That adds something to it. So, you know, this is their standard basic one. And even though it's basic, it's really good because that base is different, and that cream cheese always works well. So the aftertaste really hits well. I miss cookies and cream. The first time I had cookies and cream, they did it really well. The second time, really sugary. But I really do miss cookies and cream. So honey bun, I almost forgot to show it off to y'all. This is one of the blander cookies they have. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just going to be straightforward. I usually give it like a 5 or 6. And the reason is it's a very bland, like cinnamon cookie. It's kind of like a snickerdoodle. But then like the icing just doesn't do much justice to it. It's nothing as good as a honey bun. It may be like a honey bun, but you know, a honey bun's got that fluffy, light texture to it. So I don't know, but we're gonna give it one more try because it's here. You know, I think they kicked it up a little bit better with the glaze this time. Again, it's nothing to write home about, but, you know. I think the big thing is you can just get a honey bun. Like, literally, what's the point of it when there's literal honey buns out there in the world, you know? But I give it a 6. I like the glaze a lot more. The glaze really comes together well. But there's not much to this cookie. There really isn't. But if nothing else, you know, Cowboy cookie shocked me. Raspberry donut, very solid. And a lot of people love Oreo. So this is a week where I can see people getting 4-packs, you know, branching out on that. And really enjoying their time. So props to the Crumbl. Cowboy cookie really shocked me. And they don't tend to shock me here at Crumbl, but I gotta say, I'm not just saying this because I'm a cowboy. I'm saying this to be genuine with y'all. So, y'all know I can be genuine. Look at last week, you know. So, with that said, yeah, I just feel like we've got some work to do on myself, and I've got to change up the game plan. Of course, I don't have a game plan now. Game plans really just to live life, maybe not to the fullest, but to the best I can try and live it. And I've just got to look out for opportunities for that and kind of swing for that. I can't focus on things that I don't need to focus on. I've got to focus on me, and if I see a situation where, you know, that makes me uncomfortable or I'm not happy with, you know, I can't interfere with that. And so, you know, this past weekend, there were some situations. I was arguing with people, and it was just absolutely toxic. And I've got to do better with that. And so, you know, the way I move on is just to be a better person, and just to cut out the things that, cut out those feelings that made me kind of pursue what I did. But, you know, life is fine. Life is okay. It's just, you know, I wish I could do things a little bit better. And you can't go back to the past and change those things. You can't, you know, change people's minds. You can't, you know, once they have an impression of you, it's kind of set. And so you just gotta work on yourself, and maybe things will change. But if they're not likely to change, you just got to change it up. So that's the goal. That's the plan. We're going to change it up. How we're going to change it up, I don't know. But just circling back to one of the things is, you know, I told y'all I'm just kind of struggling in the way I pursue people in my dating life. And, you know, now we got to get creative. Now we got to kind of, I guess what I need to do is, and as I was saying, focus on myself, but not just that. I don't need to kind of bury myself. That's been kind of the mindset, is that I'm just going to hide from the world, just bury myself. But I think what I need to really do on this is be more persistent, be more, show more initiative, I guess. Be more intuitive. And I know I've got what it takes to do these things. It's just when I get so caught up in thinking something or believing something or seeing just how amazing someone is, it's just like I get trapped, and it just gets weird. It gets toxic. So I don't need to focus on that. I need to be like, okay, let's just have a conversation. Let's just talk and let it go from there, right? So, you know, instead of burying myself, I need to go pursue my interests in life. And, you know, I need to have more of a broad perspective and pay attention to what's around me and make connections that way. I think that's probably the best way we move forward on all of this, is we just grind and live life and open myself up, I guess is a good way to look at it. So, you know, lots of improvement to do, and lots of things to change, lots of attitudes and opinions and things to get through, but we're gonna get there. And I think just continuing to do food reviews is gonna be a great thing. It's gonna open me up to other people. But, you know, I feel like I've had a hard time making actual genuine connections outside of, you know, you guys commenting. And I think it takes a lot of follow-up too. It's like, I know a few of you personally that are commenting, and I could literally just be like, hey bud, let's hang out, let's talk, you know. And I've struggled with that. That's something I've struggled with everybody, is just showing initiative. That's been my whole struggle my whole life. And maybe that's why people, you know, they look at me and they say, well, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? You know, I don't, you know, I can't explain it. It's not just a specific situation. It's just, you know, life. And so it's weird. It's weird. You know, when I do take initiative, when I see something and I'm like, okay, let's go for it. I think it works out well. But 9 times out of 10, I don't see it, or I just push it away. And then either it's gone or it toxically builds up in my mind. So yeah, other than that, I don't want to hold y'all off. We're not going to go on for 20 minutes this time. I just wanted to let y'all know that's where I'm at. I'm feeling a little bit better, but we got a long ways to go in terms of hitting that reset button and getting things right. So other than that, we got some reviews coming up this week. It's Martin Luther King's Day, so I'm going to be working, grinding out, doing some things. But if y'all have suggestions, let me know. If y'all want to do a review with me, I've got a car seat, got a shotgun seat, always free to join me. I've always wanted more collabs, but I think, again, I don't know who to ask or how to approach that situation. I mean, there's a few people in my family that always bring it up, but you know, if you're into doing a food review, let me know. Okay, well, that's it. I'll see y'all around.